Hello and welcome back to the Michigan State University Wealth Management Association podcast. This week we have Jessica Sullivan from Legado Family Office. We hope you enjoy.
Much for taking the time today. I'm really excited to get this going. So, my first question, as a first generation college student who earned your MSU Finance BA and MBA in Strategic Management, what barriers did you overcome and how did that grit fuel your path to founding Legado Family Office?
Wow, that's a really great question. I don't know if we have enough time to go into all of it, but I would say one of the biggest barriers that I had is I didn't have a really strong group around me that had gone down a path before. For instance, going to college. What
Right.
was that like? Freshman orientation.
Mhm.
So I didn't have a support system of family members that had gone down that path before. So, and there's just always been something inside of me. I've always been a competitive person from the time I was really, really little, even to now. So,
Mhm.
and I just found myself where I wanted to surround myself with individuals who were also looking to grow and expand. And so I would say
Yeah.
the barrier I overcame was I didn't really have a lot of people mentoring me and who'd
Mhm.
walked the path before, but I was able to somehow just find that internal drive and competitive nature to just, surround myself with people who are also doing the same things and kind of
Yeah.
lean heavily on other people and other friends.
Yeah. Just a quick follow-up question. How did you find like a mentor? Like you said, you didn't have that, and so you surrounded yourself with people like-minded yourself, like yourself. But what is like a good tip that you would recommend to college students to find a mentor?
That's a great question. I believe finding a mentor, you want to always continue to be curious. And
Hmm.
I'm happy to dive into that. But curiosity really, truly is, I think, a really key component. So surrounding yourself with people who you aspire to be or people that you look up to. So whether that's a teacher in high school, whether that's a counselor, whether that's a coach, whether that's a friend's parent, um, anyone like that, I think are people that
Yeah.
you can lean heavily on. Mine was a coach.
Yeah.
And then I also had a counselor in high school where I just went and asked a lot of questions. I didn't know any better. So I just
Right.
asked and they just provided information. It was like, okay, well, she's curious. I'm
Yeah.
going to just continue to feed her
Yeah.
until, and it just took me down a really unique and fun path.
Yeah, no, I like the continue to be curious. I like that. Okay, so my second question. In our discussion previous to the interview, you mentioned that many college students lack customer service roles, and how has hands-on customer service experience given you an advantage in trust building with clients?
Yeah. I really think customer service is all about learning the art of communication.
Hmm.
And just from my experience, I'm noticing, college students specifically are really focused a lot on wanting to be in clubs and wanting to be active, and you're doing a great job of building your resume. They're very impressive compared
Yeah.
to when I was in college.
Hmm.
Uh, However, the one thing I'm noticing is we are maybe giving up a little bit of some of those service roles. And so how you speak with people, how you understand body language, how you deal with disgruntled individuals, how you can
Hmm.
overcome internal conflict. Those are all really important to mastering the art of communication. And that's something you never really truly master. You continue to grow and learn.
Yeah.
But what it does, from my perspective, is specifically when you're dealing with wealth management and being a financial advisor,
Hmm.
it's all about how you interact with your clients and how you're going to communicate with them. And it's very important when you're dealing with difficult situations, you're dealing with life events, you want to have full transparency, you need to
Hmm.
be very open and honest. Uh, and you at times are going to have clients that are not going to be happy with you. And so you
Right.
have to be able to know how to deal with that, how to work with that, and how to head that, deal with that head on,
Yeah.
instead of maybe wanting to shy away from it. And I really truly believe the more people you can interact with and start to learn those skills at a young age, it's going to serve you really well into your career.
Yeah, yeah, no, I find that very interesting because I don't think a lot of people talk about that. But I love the point of view that you're coming from. I really
Yeah.
do. Okay, so my next question. As an MSU finance alumni who launched your own firm, what coursework or experience helped bridge that gap to like start a family business or
Yeah.
family office?
It's fascinating to reflect on my curriculum when I was there. It's changed so much, right?
Yeah.
I mean, your
Yeah.
business college has grown leaps and bounds, and the fact that you have a financial planning curriculum now as a part of
Yeah.
it, I think is absolutely wonderful. The biggest things though that stick out to me, surprisingly enough, even though I didn't go down this path, I knew I didn't want to be an accountant.
Yeah.
However, knowing how to read P&L and
Mhm.
balance sheets is
Mhm.
very important, especially in my world when you're dealing with ultra high net worth individuals and financial planning. You treat them very similar to how you treat a business.
Right.
You treat an individual with their P&L very similar. What's their income? What are their expenses? What's the net there? And same with their balance sheet, understanding their assets, their liabilities, their equity. How is that growing? And so being able to understand financial statements was really important through accounting. So I was reflecting on that. The other thing though that I think is really again, kind of going back to your last previous question about in the art of communication, was I was thinking about sociology and some of those great classes as you are learning about the whys. So again, going back maybe to my first one about continuing to be curious, that is one of my key successes with working with individuals, is having the ability to understand how to listen, how to ask really good questions, and then really truly start to dig into the why people are the way that they are.
Yeah.
Whether their upbringing, maybe mom liked another kid best. If you're dealing with family businesses, family dynamics, also, especially when you get into financial planning, when you're dealing maybe particularly with next generation, how do you communicate? How do you talk about being good stewards of wealth? How do you educate them about wealth? And so really, truly understanding that family dynamics and some of that sociology and psychology piece, I think, are really important as well.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I that's the thing I find most fascinating is the why. So I love the answer. Okay, so as a four-time Traverse City 40 under 40 recipient, as a female founder, what hurdles have you faced in a male-dominated industry, and what advice would you give to other women starting off in a similar position?
Yeah. Again, that's another great question, Eloise.
Thank you.
We don't have enough time to talk about male-dominated women and male-dominated industries. No, but what I will say is, especially with working with a lot of female entrepreneurs with some of the family foundations that I work with, women just inherently, it's something about our society, I believe in America, where we just have a tendency at times to maybe lack some confidence. And so I would say that's the first thing, is it's really super important for you to have self-belief and the self-confidence that you do belong there and you do belong to have a seat at the table. I would say that's the first thing. The other thing too is we sometimes have a tendency, females specifically, to maybe apologize. Oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have. I'm sorry, I'm sorry I'm a couple minutes late. I was doing this. And especially because, as you will find as you grow older, like if you choose to have a family, sometimes they talk about the invisible, more household tasks have a tendency to fall on female shoulders, and that's very, very true. I think another thing is making sure that you ask for help when you need help. So don't be afraid to raise your hand, ask for help. Have the self-confidence and belief that you do deserve to have a seat at the table. And then the other thing is also having the self belief as well, and the confidence to raise your hand and to speak up. A lot of times we kind of sit there and we're waiting for other people to want to raise their hands, and it can be intimidating when you're walking in the room. So I think, again, finding your voice and not being afraid to add your details, add the information where you feel that you can have value. And again, I mean, you're going to hear me say it again, but just continue to stay curious, ask questions.
Yeah. No, I love that.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. I think that even in some classes, like, it is intimidating just walking in, being one of the only females in my major. There are a couple, but just male dominated classrooms. But I have found that trying to gain my confidence has definitely helped, and I have some fantastic professors that help with that. So
yeah,
I love the advice.
The one more thing I would add too is, this isn't a knock on any males, but women have a tendency to maybe be a little bit more organized, a little bit more forward thinking with operations. So we run really operations well. So when you get sometimes in these rooms, whether it's in a board meeting or you get to be on a financial advisory team and you're a junior and you have someone that's maybe the lead, sometimes we are the first to want to raise our hands to say, oh, I can handle the agenda, or I can handle this, or I can handle that. You don't always have to be the person to raise your hand to do that too.
Yeah.
So sometimes that can pigeonhole you with some maybe of these operational tasks. So I would just keep that in mind.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, so next question. You mentioned students should be more open about their careers. How has embracing transparency in your own journey from a first-gen MSU grad to Legado founder help build networks and opportunities in wealth management?
Yeah. I think there are many different paths. That's the beauty. I think that's the beauty of any career, but specifically in finance. You can get your basic foundation with your degree. But when you think about understanding finance, whether it's corporate finance, financial planning, or you want to go into private equity or investment banking or something in the alternative investment space, every single business requires a finance department.
Yeah.
Most businesses, specifically if founders are smart, require a CFO as well. And then a lot of businesses you're going to find require, they might not be able to in-house it, so they will hire advisors to do that, like maybe a fractional CFO, or we have CPAs. There are a lot of different firms out there that all have different financial divisions. I think for me, when I think about this, it's be open to having and trying new paths.
Yeah.
So it doesn't always have to be, I'm going to go be an investment banker and then I'm going to put in my time here and then I want to do this here at one of the major top firms. That's great. If that doesn't work out though, or you don't get that one spot out of 2,500 that have applied, that's okay too.
Yeah.
Stay open to other opportunities, because it could be a small startup needs a CFO. It could be you go in, you're a banker, and you learn all about businesses and P&Ls, and then that business wants to hire you.
Yeah.
It could be you decide you want to go work for a consulting firm and you want to work on pitch books, and then you're becoming an expert on a specific industry that then eventually could lead you to the same path of being an investment banker. I think that's the beauty of this specific career as well as this degree, is it gives you optionality to be really flexible and to try a lot of different things.
Yeah. No, I 100%. And I love that advice, because I know so many college students want to have everything figured out and they want to get the job, but in the big picture, scope of things, most of us won't still be at the same firm that we join, No, which is crazy. It's crazy.
It's unheard of. It's unheard of these days for graduates, specifically like in your age and class, and even a little bit older, for you guys to stay. When I was coming up, it was you'd go and stay with a firm and you'd want to stay there for 30 years, or you make a partner and then you will eventually retire. I think it goes a lot, and a lot of credit again to your generation and college students right now. You guys are continuing to stay curious, stay open, and you're not afraid to try new things.
Yeah.
And I think that is so important to do.
Yeah.
Continue to do more of that.
Yes, for sure. Okay, last question I have is, as a successful MSU finance alum, what is one essential piece of advice you would give to current finance majors to accelerate their path in wealth management?
I would say to accelerate your path specifically in wealth management, I have a couple of pieces.
Yeah.
One, find someone that's doing it.
Yeah.
So find someone, whether it's an MSU alumni or it's a current professor that used to be in this, chat with them, take them out to coffee. You guys are really good at reaching out. Continue to reach out. There are a lot of alumni, Michigan State alumni in this particular career, people that have done and built great businesses that maybe went into the wealth management space initially. Chat with them And so that also can help you find, again, a mentor or someone that has gone down this path, see what's worked for them. If you were going to do it again, what would you do differently? What are some of the roadblocks that might work into? Be very honest with me about what is this career like? Because it's hard at first. You take rejection. You got to be prepared. You got to have that thick skin. And then I said this before, but the other biggest thing is just stay curious, ask really good questions, surround yourself with people who are smarter than you or that you want to aspire to be. Continue to constantly learn and to have that growth mindset of wanting to work on yourself. There are many different ways, again, many different paths that you can go on because, again, as we talked about in the last question, there are a lot of different paths that you can go down to get to that where you're still continuing to offer wealth advice, helping people take care of kind of their financial future.
Yeah, no, I love all the advice. Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And I'm sure the listeners will appreciate it too.
Absolutely. And go green.
Go white.
If you enjoyed this discussion, please like and share the podcast on Apple and Spotify. The WMA podcast is part of Michigan State University's Wealth Management Association, a student organization whose goal is to inspire the next generation of financial advisors. Feel free to follow us on social media at MSU WMA and check out our website at msuwma.com. Anything heard on either the MSU WMA or Spartan Journal podcast is for educational purposes only and should not be considered as investment advice.